Welcome to JasonWhiskyWise. My name is Jason. Welcome today to the whiskey review into the Laphroaig Brodir. So this is the last whiskey in my Laphroaig range, and I'm hoping to do some more and get my hands on the 15, the 18, some of the really older expressions, maybe even some of the Karchers. But the Laphroaig Brodir is going to conclude my series, and if you have missed any of them, I'll leave them linked here in the top corner. It's been a really fun series and something eye-opening to see all these different Laphroaigs tasted one after another. So the Laphroaig Brodir, I keep getting away from the topic, its actual meaning means brother, and I'll get to that in just a second, but it is a no-age statement whiskey, bottled at 48%. The cask selection of this one are ex-bourbon barrels, and then it is then sent and transferred over into these European oak seasoned ruby port casks. And it's finished off in there for a little period of time. And look at this whiskey. I can just smell the aroma. Oh, so good. So it's all natural color, as you can see that. It's got a very sort of like a pinkish hue to it as well. Now the distillery itself is the Laphroaig Distillery. They are owned by the parent company, Beam Suntory, and they are located on Islay, Scotland. Now this is one that is actually one I really wanted to end the series on because it is a very interesting expression. And this is the actual whiskey from Laphroaig that gave me that switch in the back of my head when I first tried it. And I was like, I need to try it again and again and again. And then I just bought a bottle. And I said, I can't help but going out without this. Now I took this one actually into the city to share it with some friends. And you can see actually half the bottle's already gone. So I'm going to have to ration this one out or probably pick up a couple more. Now its actual price point on that bottle, I paid £95 for it. In travel retail, as it was a travel retail exclusive. They did have batches like batch 1 and 2, but then they decided, forget the batches, let's just release the core product. Now, as it was travel retail, there is also some of it that trickles its way through into the domestic market, and you'll find that on websites, maybe even Amazon, so you will probably see it all over the place. Now, in terms of exclusivity, it's no longer, I believe, exclusive to travel retail. It can be found everywhere. And in terms of caramel color, I believe this is all natural because this has just got a nice, beautiful, light character, and it's got such a pinkish, reddish hue to it. Wow. Let's get into the nose. I'm looking forward to this one. Into the nose. Starting the nose on the Brodir, straight away I'm getting this almost sweet, dark, succulent plums. And then I'm getting a vanilla and raspberry cheesecake, and I have to break this one down because the flavors are just so mouth-watering. It's like you've got the biscuity base and then you're working your way into the vanilla, a nice rich, creamy vanilla cheesecake, and then you'll lay it on top of this with almost a few raspberries freshly picked and dropped on the top, a few red currants, but then you're getting back to these raspberries that are stewed in their own juices and a little bit of sweet juice, and then on the top you're glazing this thing over with a little bit of icing sugar. This is just, I want to jump straight into the palate for this one, but I have to carry on the nose. There is a soft element of a very gentle spice. And when I say gentle spice, it's a sweet spice. It's like a cinnamon. It's like almost you've taken cinnamon and you've just grated it over this cheesecake to add another dimension around it. This has just got so much of character. It does have that peatiness. And this is very interesting that the peat is not displayed first up on a Laphroaig. This is actually masked behind all these fruity and creamy characters. It's got such a incredible sort of combination and balance between the peat and the port on the nose. This is really very well integrated together. And then you're getting the citrus, and it's not a powerful citrus, like a tangerines. Maybe a bit of the tangerine juice and the actual tangerine peel involved together. And just when you think it's all over, you're getting that coastal, briny character working its way through, and it's accompanied right on the end with a very juicy raisin character, as if you opened a box of raisins and you can smell that fragrance from the raisins coming off, that sweetness, that fruitiness. Wow, this is really complex on the nose and something I highly recommend. Give it some time and just really enjoy this one. It is, but you probably will go straight to the palate first, but it's great. So let's get into the palate next. Slanger. Let's get started now into the palate. The overall arrival onto the palate for this whiskey, it gives you that peaty character first up. It's that medicinal peat, like I mentioned before, a little bit of this earthy character coming through. but it's mellow. It's not medium, it's not light, but neither is it full. It's between medium and full, where it's got this character coming through. And then you work your way into these dry fruits. I'm getting like goji berries, I'm getting cranberries that are dried out, a little bit of even red plums. And now you're getting into more succulent flavors of raspberries, red currants. And then it develops a slight aged profile where I'm getting leather. I'm getting a bit of red licorice. I'm getting even notes of tobacco where it feels a little bit sweeter, but at the same time that distinctive, unique character that offers up. I am getting a slight peppermint note as well, as I'm holding there a little bit longer. But the overall texture and the viscosity on this whiskey, it's very rich. It's viscous. It's almost even chewy to the sense where you hold it in the palate, it will develop further and further. It does give you a little bit of a vanilla note. And I'm going to say like a vanilla cream, but maybe vanilla ice cream. It's like a Danish ice cream where you're getting a lot, no, not Danish, Cornish vanilla ice cream where it's creamy and it's mouth coating. It's really just really, really good. I'm really enjoying this one. This is one of my favorite Laphroaig. I feel like it's a guilty pleasure, but Laphroaig Brodir is fantastic overall. And the overall complexity already that's offered up is quite a lot. Let's get now into the actual finish of this whiskey and come to my conclusion. So now working our way into the finish for the Laphroaig Brodir. I had to take a second there to compose myself, but the finish of this one, it's long. I'd say it's extra long. It holds itself there. It's not like a whiskey where you have a peated whiskey where it finishes abruptly. It's got that length. It's got a bit of spice, that candied ginger, a bit of like an aniseed fireball sweet. You're getting these juicy, succulent raisins, adding that sort of almost dark fruit presence to it. A little bit of figs, almost like a fig cake, maybe even a bit of fruit cake in this whiskey on the finish. It is gorgeous. I'm going to have my last sip, and then I'll come to my actual rating for this whiskey. So now to give my overall rating and opinion, I'm going to place my glass over here so I don't throw it off the edge. But rating-wise, I'm giving it a 94 out of 100. It's actually probably one of the best Laphroaigs I've tried. I tried the 25, I tried the 18, I tried the 15. The 18 is actually really, really good. It's up there with this, but that's a spoiler before I get to those, but eventually down the line. But in terms of the actual overall whiskey, it offers so much of depth and complexity with all these different flavors. The sort of combination of peat and port just sync together so well. They're almost like they work together in harmony in different layers, and you're uncovering this and you're uncovering that. The peat is more powerful on the palate than it is on the nose, and that's something that's very magical about the Brodir for me. Now, in terms of value for money, it's 90, I think around about 90 to 95 pounds here in the UK. I do find that a bit pricey. However, I can happily justify paying that because I really love the flavor profile this has on offer. I do know the 18 is around about 220 pounds here in the UK, to my local shop that has it. And that's really steep compared to this. So this for me, it offers flavors that are port. And I love port whiskey. So I have tried some that are not really good. This one has been done very well, and that's one thing that I really love about it. It gives you all these different flavors that gives you time to think and really enjoy the whiskey. Have this whiskey over time, add water to it, do as you wish, and you will still see it holds itself to a very powerful level where it's still enjoyable, but at the same time it doesn't overpower and it doesn't feel like you've got a punch in the face by a peat bog. So overall, 94 out of 100. That's going to sound so crazy. But 94 out of 100 is my rating for the Laphroaig Brodir. Guys at Laphroaig, that is a fantastic expression. I just hope it gets cheaper. Or please drop its price, because then it makes it much more affordable. But that's going to be it for me in this Laphroaig series. I want to say thank you very much, everyone, for watching. And thank you very much for your series support on the Laphroaig range. I think next up we're going to do some one-off whiskies, and then we'll go back into doing the next series up. So this has been me, JasonWhiskyWise. If you have enjoyed, drop it a thumbs up. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. I'll leave some other Laphroaig videos on screen. But this has been me and Mr. Bananas, and we'll catch you all for the next video. Sláinte.